Hi, I'm Dr. Nixon with Healing Peak Regenerative Medicine's Longevity channel, and today I want to talk to you about a group of vegetables and fruits called nightshades. And the reason why I wanted to approach this topic is because some people can have a sensitivity to one or a handful of nightshades. And nightshades are the group of vegetables or fruits that all have a certain makeup of compounds. So there are a couple biochemical compounds or structures within these types of vegetables and fruits that can create irritation in some people. And so typically the person who would be most sensitive to these types of vegetables or this family of vegetables and fruits is someone who is suffering from an autoimmune type of arthritis, like rheumatoid arthritis or psoriatic arthritis. Osteoarthritis is not quite the same. It's not an autoimmune type of arthritic condition. And so anyone who is suffering from any type of pain-related arthritis due to autoimmune conditions, which typically you'll know if that's what you have or not because you will have been referred to a rheumatologist or been told that. Avoiding the nightshade family and then reintroducing them can be very life-changing for these people. And I wanted to talk about it because I think there's a lot of dietary information out on the internet, and there's a lot of confusing information about, what to avoid and what to eat and what's inflammatory and what's not. And by the end of the day, if you've done a lot of research on this and you've been Googling it, by the end of the day, you're not eating anything because there's conflicting information about all foods out there, which can be really frustrating for people. And so I just wanted to shed a little light about this particular type of a group of or family of vegetables and fruits because I think there needs to be an awareness around it, both that not everyone should avoid them and that there are certain people who could really benefit from avoiding them. And it just depends what type of condition you have and who you are and what's happening in your body. And so nightshades are tomatoes, potatoes, chilies, so that includes red pepper flakes, paprika, and that sort of thing, but also includes jalapenos, bell peppers, eggplant, and a handful of others. And it's fairly simple to find a list, but the main ones that people are eating are peppers, tomatoes, and potatoes, and then occasionally people are eating a lot of eggplant, and those are the main nightshades that are kind of an everyday food. But there are also other smaller ones as well. So if you do plan on doing a nightshade elimination, then really educate yourself about which foods those exactly are and then look at your ingredient list of everything you're eating to avoid them. So there are 3 compounds that are in this family, and you may have a sensitivity to one or all 3 of these compounds, and then that would be what could contribute to your joint pain. It did not cause your autoimmune arthritic condition, but it could dramatically reduce the pain. I have had people come off biologic medication regularly in my practice when they avoid the foods that they're sensitive to, including the nightshade family. The improvement in pain is dramatic when the person is sensitive to these foods and then they avoid them. The other caveat I would like to mention about nightshades is that they typically are very rainbow type foods. Vitamin C is in potatoes. Potatoes have a very high concentration of vitamin C. And, bell peppers come in many different colors and colors of things, and any type of food that's very colorful will have a lot of phytonutrients in it and antioxidants, non-measurable immuno stimulating oxidative and antioxidant qualities in it that could be helping your body and are very healthy for us to consume. So if you do not have a sensitivity to these, then I would encourage you to eat them because they do have a lot of other health benefits if you're not sensitive. And so I just also wanted to say that it's important to not just assume because you have an autoimmune condition or that you have an autoimmune arthritic problem that you should just avoid all nightshades, because that's not the case either. It might be true that you're very sensitive to tomatoes, but you may be able to consume bell peppers and things as well, or you may be able to consume small amounts of certain ones without initiating a painful response to the food. So I just wanted to discuss that because avoiding these foods for some people can get them off medications that were prescribed to them as lifelong and that they would never be without, and can be very expensive, like very expensive medications. And so if these people are able to control their pain by stopping eating a certain one or handful of this type of food, that's a pretty big cost benefit. And there are other places that they can get the phytonutrients and the antioxidants. There are other foods that are not going to cause that type of pain for them, that they can get that antioxidant enrichment from their diet. And then I have that conversation with them. So it's kind of like gluten, right? Like for some people they're sensitive, and for some people they have celiac, and for some people they're allergic, and there's this big thing about gluten, and then everyone kind of assumed, oh, I should be gluten-free because that's the healthy thing to do. And that's not actually true either. There are some health benefits to eating full gluten items, as in like not gluten-free items. Gluten-free items that are in the store often are way higher in carbohydrate and less high in fat and protein, which is not a good balanced macronutrient load. So when you eat that, it can cause high blood sugar very quickly and then predispose you to type 2 diabetes, especially if you're living on only gluten-free items, where if you ate a whole wheat item, there's more protein and fat and more fiber per serving in those whole wheat items. They have a better, more nutritious macronutrient profile. I should probably make a totally separate video on that, but the point is that not everyone should avoid nightshades, not everyone should avoid gluten, but there are certain parts of the population where avoiding certain foods can be life-changing and very freeing for these people, because one, they're not tethered to this medication all the time, and two, their pain goes away and they're not tethered to medication. So if you have an autoimmune condition that initiates pain in your joints, trying a nightshade elimination for 4 weeks would be a good idea. I do think that this should be done under the supervision of a doctor that also knows about this information and can support you through this process and explain to you how to bring those nightshades back into your diet correctly, so that you have a very clear understanding of which things are causing what for you, and so that you have someone where you can ask questions. I'm not your doctor, so don't take this as medical advice. I just wanted to educate you about this group of vegetables and the implications that they could potentially have on your life if you are suffering from an autoimmune related arthritic condition. Thanks so much. If you know anyone that this sounds like, I would love for you to share my video with them. Like I said, it could change their life, and you might help them, get awareness around getting off a medication that they thought they were going to be on forever, which is a big deal. So thanks so much. Have a great day, you guys.